Hey folks, how's it going? Happy Monday. I am looking at this live aquarium because it's kind of fun to have something to look at while I'm reading something to you. But Monterey Bay Aquarium showing me live shots of fish and sharks and stingrays and all kinds of cool stuff in this aquarium. So what I wanted to do is just keep this going for you while I read a couple passages from The Power of Now, Chapter 4 and Chapter 5, just a little bit. And then I want to talk to you about the power of now and about life and this world and this crazy world and everything that we're living in right now. And how life isn't always merry and joyful and fun. Of course it isn't. Of course not. And the power of now is not supposed to be taken as just think positive and everything will be fine. No, that's not how it goes either. And I think I've mentioned that before. But I just wanted to let you know that, once again, the old saying, life's a bitch and then you die, is kind of very true. It is really hard. But with practice and with knowledge and with trying to stay present, your life does not have to be so hard. Okay, that's all I'm trying to teach here. I'm not saying that life is easy. I'm not saying that everything is positive, because it isn't. And for God's sakes, if I ever told you my story, you'd be going, holy hell, Tanis. You've been through a lot. And I have, as I'm sure many of you have out there. But that's why I try to help with little bits of this power of now, to try to give you some tools to stay present, to advance your spirituality, to try to tap into your higher consciousness, which is who we really are, which is who we are naturally, that's been taken away from us. All right, so let me just read these, and then I'll get back to chatting a little bit more about it, okay? So I'm going to start with, excuse me, ordinary unconsciousness and deep unconsciousness. Question, what do you mean by the different levels of unconsciousness? Answer, as you probably know, in sleep you constantly move between phases of dreamless sleep and dream state. Similarly, in wakefulness, most people only shift between ordinary unconsciousness and deep unconsciousness. What I call ordinary unconsciousness means being identified with your thought processes and emotions, your reactions, desires, and aversions. It is most people's normal state. In that state, you are run by the egoic mind, and you are unaware of being. In a state of it is a state of not of acute pain or unhappiness, but of an almost continuous low level of unease, discontent, boredom, nervousness, a kind of background static. You may not realize this because it is so much part of a normal living, just as you are not aware of a continuous low background noise, such as the hum of an air conditioner, until it stops. When it stops, when it suddenly does stop, there is a sense of relief. Many people use alcohol, drugs, sex, food, work, television, or even shopping as anesthetics in an unconscious attempt to remove the basic unease. When this happens, an activity might be very enjoyable if used in moderation, becomes imbued with a compulsive or addictive quality, and all that is ever achieved through it is extremely short-lived symptom relief. The unease of ordinary unconsciousness turns into a pain of deep unconsciousness, a state of more acute and more obvious suffering or unhappiness when things go wrong, when the ego is threatened, or there is a major challenge, threat, or loss, real or imagined, in your life, situation, or conflict in a relationship. It is an intensified version of ordinary unconsciousness. When things go wrong, when the ego is threatened, or there is a major challenge, threat, or loss, real or imaginary, in your life, situation, a conflict in a relationship is an intense version of ordinary unconsciousness, different from it, not in kind, but in degree. In ordinary unconsciousness, habitual resistance or denial to what is creates the unease and discontent that most people accept as normal living. When this resistance becomes intensified through some challenge or threat to the ego, it brings up intense negativity such as anger, acute fear, aggression, depression, and so on. Deep unconsciousness often means that the pain body has been triggered and that you have become fully identified with it. Physical violence would be impossible without deep unconsciousness. It can also occur easily whenever and wherever a crowd of people or even an entire nation generates a negative collective energy field. The best indicator for your level of consciousness is how you deal with life's challenges when they come. Through those challenges, an already unconscious person tends to become more deeply unconscious, and a conscious person more intensely conscious. You can use a challenge to awaken you, or you can allow it to pull you into an even deeper sleep. The dream of ordinary unconsciousness then turns into a nightmare. If you cannot be present even in normal circumstances, such as when you are sitting alone in a room, walking in the woods, or listening to someone, then you certainly won't be able to stay conscious when something goes wrong, or you are faced with a difficult people or situations with loss or threat of loss. You will be taken over by a reaction which ultimately is always some form of fear and pulled into deep unconsciousness. Those challenges are your tests. Those challenges are your tests. The only way in which you deal with them, only the way in which you deal with them will show you and others where you are as far as your state of consciousness is concerned, not how long you can sit with your eyes closed or what visions you see. So it is essential to bring more consciousness into your life in ordinary situations when everything is going relatively smoothly. In this way, you grow in presence power. In this way, you grow in presence power. It generates an energy field in you and around you of a high vibrational frequency. No unconsciousness, no negativity, no discord or violence can enter that field and survive, just as darkness cannot survive in the presence of light. When you learn to be the witness of your thoughts and emotions, which is an essential part of being present, you may be surprised when you first become aware of the background static of ordinary unconsciousness and realize how rarely, if ever, you are truly at ease within yourself. On the level of your thinking, you will find a great deal of resistance in the form of judgment, discontent, and mental projection away from the now. On the emotional level, there will be an undercurrent of unease, tension, boredom, or nervousness. Both are aspects of the mind in its habitual resistance mode. What are they seeking? Carl Jung tells in one of his books of a conversation he had with a Native American chief who pointed out to him that in his perception, most white people have tense faces, staring eyes, and a cruel demeanor, he said. They are always seeking something. What are they seeking? The whites always want something. They are always uneasy and restless. We don't know what they want. We think they are mad. The undercurrent of constant unease started long before the rise of Western industrial civilization, of course, but in the Western civilization, which now covers almost the entire globe, including most of the East, it manifests as an unprecedented acute form. It was already there at the time of Jesus, and it was there 600 years before that at the time of Buddha, and long before that. Why are you anxious? Why are you always anxious? Jesus asked his disciples. Can an anxious thought add a single day to your life? And the Buddha taught that the root of suffering is to be found in our constant wanting and craving. Resistance to the now as a collective dysfunction is intrinsically connected to the loss of awareness of being and forms the basic of our dehumanized industrial civilization. Freud, by the way, also recognized existence under this current. Freud, by the way, also recognized the existence of this undercurrent of unease and wrote about it in his book Civilization and Its Discontents. But he did not recognize the true root of the unease and failed to realize that freedom from it is possible. This collective dysfunction has created a very unhappy and extraordinarily violent civilization. It has become a threat not only to itself, but to all life on the planet. Dissolving ordinary unconsciousness. Question: so how can we be free of this affliction? Answer: make it conscious. Observe the many ways in which unease, discontent, and tension arise within you through unnecessary judgment, resistance to what is, and denial of the now. Anything unconscious dissolves when you shine the light of consciousness on it. Once you know how to dissolve ordinary unconsciousness, the light of your presence will shine brightly, and it will be much easier to deal with deep unconsciousness whenever you feel its gravitational pull. However, ordinary unconsciousness may not be easy to detect initially because it is so normal. Make it a habit to monitor your mental-emotional state through self-observation. Am I at ease at this moment? Is a good question to ask yourself frequently. Or you can ask, what's going on inside me at this moment? Be at least as interested in what goes on inside you as what happens outside you. If you get the inside right, the outside will fall into place. Primary reality is within, secondary reality without. But don't answer these questions immediately. Direct your attention inward. Have a look inside yourself. What kind of thoughts is your mind producing? What do you feel? Direct your attention into the body. Is there any tension? Once you detect that there is a low level of unease, the background static, see in what way you are avoiding, resisting, or denying life by denying the now. There are many ways in which people unconsciously resist the present moment. I will give you a few examples. With practice, your power of self-observation, of monitoring your inner state, will become sharpened. Freedom from unhappiness. Do you resent what you're doing? It may be your job, or you may have agreed to do something that you are doing, but part of you resents and resists it. Are you carrying unspoken resentment toward a person close to you? Do you realize that the energy you thus emanate is so harmful in its effects that you are in fact contaminating yourself as well as those around you? Have a good look inside. Is there even the slightest trace of resentment, unwillingness? If there is, observe it on both mental and emotional levels. What thoughts in your mind creating around this situation? What thoughts is your mind creating around this situation? Then look at the emotion. Which is the body's reaction to those thoughts? Feel the emotion. Does it feel pleasant or unpleasant? Is it an energy that you would actually choose to have inside you? Do you have a choice? Maybe you are being taken advantage of. Maybe the activity you are engaged in is tedious. Maybe someone close to you is dishonest, irritating, or unconscious. But all this is irrelevant. Whether your thoughts and emotions about this situation are justified or not makes no difference. The fact is that you are resisting what is. You are making the present moment into an enemy. You are creating unhappiness, conflict between the inner and the outer. Your unhappiness is polluting not only your own inner being and those around you, but also the collective human psyche, of which you are an inseparable part. The pollution of the planet is only an outward reflection of an inner physical pollution, of an inner psychic pollution. Let me read that again, I'm sorry. The pollution of the planet is only an outward reflection of an inner psychic pollution. Millions of unconscious individuals are not taking responsibility for their inner space. Excuse me. Either stop what you are doing, speak to the person concerned, and express fully what you feel, or drop the negativity that your mind has created around the situation and that serves no purpose whatsoever except to strengthen the false sense of self. Recognizing its futility is important. Negativity is never the optimum way of dealing with any situation. In fact, in most cases, it keeps you stuck in it, blocking real change. Anything that is done in negative energy will become contaminated by it, and in time rise to more pain and more unhappiness. Furthermore, any negative inner state is contagious. Unhappiness spreads more easily than a physical disease. Through the law of resonance, it triggers and feeds latent negativity in others, unless you are immune, that is, highly conscious. Are you polluting the world or cleaning up the mess? Are you responsible for your inner space? Nobody else is, just as you are responsible for the planet. As within, so without. If humans clear inner pollution, then they will also cease to create outer pollution. Okay, this is that was in chapter 4. This little paragraph is in chapter 5 of The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. The state of presence is not what you think it is. Question. You keep talking about the state of presence as the key. I think I understand it intellectually, but I don't know if I've ever truly experienced it. I wonder, is it what I think it is, or is it something entirely different? Answer. It's not what you think it is. You can't think about presence, and the mind can't understand it. Understanding presence is being present. Try a little experiment. Close your eyes and say to yourself, I wonder what my next thought is going to be. Then become very alert and wait for the next thought. Be like a cat watching a mouse hole. What thought is going to come out of the mouse hole? Try it now. Well? Answer, or question. I had to wait for quite a long time before a thought came in. Exactly. As long as you are in a state of intense presence, you are free of thought. You are still and yet highly alert. The instant your conscious attention sinks below a certain level, thought rushes in. The mental noise returns. The stillness is lost. You are back in time. To test the degree of presence, some Zen masters have been known to creep up on their students from behind and suddenly hit them with a stick. Quite a shock. If the student had become fully present and in a state of alertness, if he had kept his loin and girded in his lamp burning, excuse me, let me just read it again. If the student had been fully present and in the state of alertness, if he had kept his loin girded and his lamp burning, which is one of the analogies that Jesus uses for presence, he would have noticed the master coming up from behind and stopped him or stepped aside. But if he were hit, that would mean he was immersed in thought, which is to say absent, unconscious. To stay present in everyday life, it helps to be deeply rooted within yourself. Otherwise, the mind, which has incredible momentum, will drag you along like a wild river. Question. What do you mean by rooted within yourself? Answer. It means to inhabit your body fully, to always have some of your attention in the inner energy field of the body, to feel the body from within, so to speak. The body awareness keeps you present. It anchors you in the now. Okay, and that is all I'm going to read from that. Pretty good stuff, and as I want to say again, life isn't always merry. Life isn't always easy. Life isn't always good. In fact, really for most people, it's pretty crappy just about daily. But again, it's all in the way that you want to receive all of that. You can either, again, resist it and have more pain, or just kind of accept what is. Because it is. And then just move on. Now, higher consciousness is definitely where we are going as a society, as a world. We have to raise our consciousness. There is so much evil on this planet, but it's being challenged, and it's actually losing. More and more people, in my opinion, are waking up to this. More and more people no longer want the evil. More and more people want to live in a nice state of mind, in a calm, happy environment. You can do that or you can't do that. It's up to you. It is your choice. But again, it is our mission to evolve right now. We are at a turning point in this world, and we all know that. We all feel it. We've all learned an awful lot about what's going on. I'm learning every single day and finding out things that I just find so hard to believe, but you know, I don't know. You just take it in and you listen and you learn and you try to accept what is and understand it. But who knows what is, you know? I mean, listening to people, I'm learning so much about aliens being everywhere and being a big part of our existence, and that they are all around us all the time. Okay, I guess they're here to help. Maybe they're not. Maybe you don't believe in aliens. I don't know. I do. But I just, you know, I find it hard to believe that perhaps this whole world can be summed up in the analogies of Star Wars and Star Trek with all the goings on. I don't really know, but that kind of seems a lot of what we are learning here. Everything that I've learned from those silly movies, they're saying is, you know, kind of true, and maybe that is their way. As we all know, Hollywood likes to show us things in films. Maybe it really is how the world is. Maybe the moon is hollow. Maybe there are aliens that help us and that are living on the moon and watching over us. Maybe there is a, what do you call it? Gosh, I'm sorry, I can't remember the name. Some sort of a council that is up there that is making decisions. I don't know either. What I do know is staying present helps. Your day can be going really badly, but if you realize it and if you feel it, and if you try not to ignore perhaps when a bad feeling comes in or a bad memory, if you just try to ignore it, it's just going to come back and come back and come back again. So you have to take that memory, you have to take that feeling, that emotion, and you have to feel it fully. You have to go deep into that pain. I know it's hard. I've been there. I've so been there. But you have to go into that pain. You have to bring it up. You have to feel the emotion that's attached to that. You have to accept that it is what it is. And then you have to let it go. Not to think of it again until the next time it may come up. But the next time it will be easier. And the time after that it will be easier still. And sooner or later you will no longer have that thought come in. It's the only way to get rid of the negativity in your life is to face it. We all know that. We all know the only way to get over anything that bothers us is to face it. Facing your fears, I guess that's what it is. I don't know if it's all fearful. I don't know if it's just uncomfortable. I don't know if there's situations that you just do not want to visit in your mind. And that's fine. I'm just trying to say that if they do come up, if that's a thought that is all of a sudden in your mind, let it be. Just let it be. Feel it and let it go. And then realize, right here, right now, is just fine. Okay? Right here, right now, is just fine. Once you find that level of higher consciousness that you can live with on a daily basis, staying present, I tell you, no evil can get in. No negativity will come to you because you are projecting a wonderful energy, and you can spread that energy. I spread it all the time. I white light people all the time, every single day. It's just something I've been doing for a lot of years, whether you believe in it or not. I believe I was here to be a white lighter and a way shower and all those things, and that's just what I'm trying to do. I've really had my times in this life. I really, really have. I've had beautiful experiences with butterflies visiting me and staying with me for 20 minutes at a time, which is just unbelievable. My experiences with the butterflies started back in 2007. My enlightenment came to me in 2005. And I've been awake ever since, and learning ever since, and growing ever since. And it's okay. It's all right. It's good. And I believe that my whole life has taken me to this place right here, right now. If any of you ever listened to any of my earlier videos, back in 2005, I was able to get a reading from a psychic called John Holland, who was on Hay House Radio, an amazing psychic. He's been around for a lot of years. And this is in 2005. And he said, in the future, you will meet somebody with salt and pepper hair and a gray beard. And he will help you in your life. Are you looking for somebody? And I'm like, no, I'm not looking for anybody in particular. Okay, what is this supposed to mean, right? 2005. It wasn't until 2014 when this man came into my life. It was pretty shocking, and I have told him this story, and he has been very helpful to me. It's where I did my internship, and it's where I'm working. He's been a very nice gentleman, and he really has helped me in my life. So that is no coincidence that I did finally meet him. It's the things that happened in between that make it all, ooh, you know what I mean? One of those, wow, that is really cool how all these pieces came together. From meditation to being still, having a bird land on my shoulder when I opened my crown chakra in meditation one time, that later died that day. A stray cat that brought me her 5 babies, put them underneath my bed. I've never had cats before in my life. And you wonder how they got in. Well, I had no screen on my window, or I had no screen on my back door, which I would leave open all the time. And long story short, this cat befriended us. My children were there, and they, kept saying, oh, mom, oh, mom. My kids were older. I'm like, are you going to take care of these for the next 20 years? Oh, sure, Mom. Oh, sure. And where are they now, right? So I still have the mom, and I still have the 2 brothers and one of the daughters. 2 other daughters we gave away. But I've had incredible experiences with nature, with the little animals just in my humble little backyard where I used to live. It's amazing how wonderful they can be, and the peace and the beauty that they bring into your life daily if you just appreciate them. I would find more peace sitting in the backyard with the squirrels and the birds and the robins than anything else ever anywhere. Having a fire on too would be extra special. I don't know if you saw the butterfly videos at all, but with the biggest butterfly that stayed with me for a long, long time, I mean, a few different days at a time too, we'd have a fire out there. My son was living here at the time. So we'd have fires. I'd have fires out there like all day long. And it didn't seem to affect the squirrels, the birds, the butterflies, or anything in any way, shape, or form. They would still always come around. It's fun. It's fun to be in touch with animals and with nature. It's fun to get grounded. It's good and it's healthy for you. The peace and the solitude that nature can bring you and give you is immeasurable. in my opinion. So that's one place you can really find and know that you are most likely present, because when you're petting an animal, you're present. When you're looking at these beautiful fish, you're present. When you take a nice deep breath in and out, you're present. It's not a mystery. It's not something that you can't achieve. It's just who we are. It's who we truly, really are, that they have definitely dumbed down through fluoride, through chemtrailing, through radiation, through whatever else, that they've been doing to us for these past years. It's sad, it's a shame, but it is what it is, right? So please just know that, and I'm sure you do know, life isn't always merry. I do have a funny saying that I do say, that I would love to live in a world of butterflies and rainbows. Some of my good friends know that I do say that, because that's how I feel. I kind of feel like I live in a butterfly and rainbow world, because when issues come up, I can deal with them. And I get issues every day, just like everybody else does. Good grief. There's crazy people every time you turn around. It's really how you deal with them. And if your energy is low and negative and dark, that is what you're going to attract. Low, negative, dark energy. If your negative is high, if your if your energy is high and your consciousness is high, you will attract goodness. I have always said, and I've proven many, many times over the years, you get what you give. You absolutely get what you give. So just be kind. Just be nice. Laugh. Have fun. Life's too short. Don't be cruel. Don't be judgmental. Don't gossip. Don't hurt people's feelings. Don't laugh at somebody. You wouldn't want any of this done to you. Why do it to others, right? I'm not here lecturing anybody. I'm just here trying to teach you and trying to help to raise your consciousness to a better place, because we have to. It is our evolution right now. It is where humanity is going, into a higher consciousness. So if I can help you at all, if you have any questions for me, if you'd rather me not do these videos or something, I guess just tell me. But no, then again, don't tell me that, because I'm going to do them regardless. It's good stuff. And it's not just staying present, it's knowing that you're present. You know what I mean? It's just being. All right? You don't have to be positive, you don't have to be negative. Just be. Just like these fish. All right. I will be quiet now. And I really appreciate you listening to me. Anybody that is following this all the way through, I do appreciate it. And I will talk to you soon, all right? Have a great day. Stay present, stay safe. Smile, like I say, makes people wonder what you're up to. But have you ever done that little test? I might have said this before, but you just smile at somebody. And really, 9 out of 10 times you will get a smile back. Really? Almost 10 out of 10 times you will. And why not? Why not? Make it an experiment today. See how many people you can make smile. All right. Take it easy. Later.